Tennessee Titans.
I respect new general manager Rand Carthon coming in, and I'm sure Vrabel was not wholly in favor, but just tearing this whole thing down. I mean, they had to. Credit to them. They were competitive for longer than a lot of us expected. I mentioned Jim Schwartzer, the new Browns defensive coordinator, got a ton of production out of their defensive line. Their offensive line is probably still the worst in the NFL, even after adding probably the safest player in this entire class in Peter Skoronski. Andre Dillard, does he play left tackle? Does Skoronski play right tackle? Does he play left guard? Like, who really knows? Anyway, I respect, cutting Bud Dupree, cutting all the guys they moved on from, and just kind of starting fresh. The big thing for me is, do you pay Ryan Tannehill $27 million to not really compete, or do you just hand over the reins to Will Levis, save a bunch of money, and really get ready for next year? I think the reason why the answer is Tannehill might be because the offensive line and receiving core together is maybe the worst in the NFL.
Yeah. No, it absolutely is. That offensive line is still a problem. I like a lot of the moves that they made. Maybe my favorite move is Arden Key, who's become a really good situational pass rusher at the NFL level, having come in as one of those long, lightweight guys that typically really struggles to transition. But he's a really good player to add to that defense. I like that their offseason across the board. I think from free agents' point of view, they've added some significant players. And then the draft, they had a really good draft. Like, they were a team that they could have drafted Will Levis at number 11. Nobody would have batted an eyelid. It would have made perfect sense. Instead, they don't. They wait. They get Peter Skoronski, who, as you say, is one of the safest players. The only question is where you play him. And then they're the team that ends up being able to get Will Levis at the top of the second round, which is the perfect kind of spot for him where you're not a day one starter at that point, right? You've got the cover that you can leave it for a while, but he's high enough that you're still invested in him and there's still a pathway that you're going to succeed Ryan Tannehill down the line. You're not drafting him in the third or the fourth where you're like, he's probably not the answer anyway. It's right in that sort of perfect zone where it makes sense for both sides. Tajay Spears in the third round, I really love as a player. I would maybe question, in the third round, 81 overall, could they have selected a wide receiver? Could they have selected an offensive lineman again? Probably. So you can maybe quibble about smart allocation of resources, but generally speaking, I think that was a really good draft.
Yeah, I like the late picks too. Jalen Duncan doesn't have enough sand in the pants, needs to get a little bit bigger, but I thought he was a good athlete moving around, on his tape. So, yeah, because they got to add offensive line. And then Josh Wiley, I think, is a good fit alongside my hero, Chigakonkwo in Tennessee. So they have a lot of fun, exciting young players. It's just that, receiver, edge, corner, and offensive line are years away. So there's not really a lot of reason to think they're going to be good immediately, but maybe in 2025 they can figure things out.
Yeah, I think definitely they made a lot of good moves, but there's still some major holes on this roster. So overall, we gave it a B, a C for their free agency, an A for that draft, which we really liked a lot.